I'm Fox 6 severe weather expert Dr. Tim Coleman. We have a very dangerous weather situation over Alabama today. We're under a high risk for severe storms. Our entire viewing area is under a tornado watch, a particularly dangerous situation at that. And we now have a tornado warning in effect for Coleman County for this storm that is coming up out of Walker County into Coleman County. Now, the atmosphere is very volatile over Alabama today. First of all, we have very high instability for storm updrafts to form, and we have very strong wind shear, meaning the winds change direction and speed as you go up in the atmosphere. Kind of like this, it causes a rotation about a horizontal axis, kind of like a football with a tight spiral. And when that rotating air hits a thunderstorm updraft, it's just like tipping a football at the line of scrimmage. The rotation goes vertically, and that's what causes the storms to rotate and produce tornadoes. We're particularly concerned also about this storm here in Coleman County right now because it's sitting near a frontal boundary. We have temperatures down near Birmingham in the lower 80s. Temperatures here in southern Coleman County, 78 here at Colony. But here in Decatur it's 61, Huntsville's at 59. So this storm is running along a boundary, and we're very concerned about that because that often causes storms to rotate even more vigorously, and we're starting to pick up a debris signature on that storm. Let me zoom in on it for you and check that out. Sometimes the radar can't tell whether it's looking at raindrops or tornadic debris, and yes, that is definitely a debris signature. Check that out. Just southwest of Coleman, you see this. This is what we call a debris ball. That is definitely a tornado on the ground. The Weather Service is going to probably issue a tornado emergency on this. If you are in the city of Coleman, that's US 31, that's I-65, you need to be in a safe place right now. Let's go over to velocity real quickly, and we can show you just how rapidly this thing's rotating. And you can see very strong rotation here in southwest Coleman County, right here just west of I-65. So if you live in the city of Coleman, also downstream in places like Arab and Joppa, you need to be in a safe place right now. I'm Dr. Tim Coleman. We'll have further updates later this afternoon. I'm severe weather expert Dr. Tim Coleman. We're following a very interesting storm system approaching Atlanta right now, rather unusual. If you look at the radar picture behind me, you would expect the severe weather would be way down here in southeast Georgia, south of Macon. That's actually not where it's happening. We have winds gusting up to 60 to 70 miles per hour right around the Atlanta metropolitan area right now. What's going on right here at the back edge of this rain? You can see it cuts off very quickly. We have something called a wake low. That's where wind comes into the back of a line of thunderstorms and sinks. It causes low pressure right near the ground, and then the air just rushes into that low pressure area, and that's what's going on. Let me switch over to the velocity display for you, and we'll be able to see this a lot more clearly. Winds have been being reported already. Wind gusts at the Atlanta airport up to 71 miles per hour. And check this out. The radar is right here in the middle. Winds coming into the radar are green, winds moving away from the radar are red. So you can see winds are blowing into that low at the back edge of this rain. These are winds on radar between 60 and 80 miles per hour. We've had reports of boats overturned up at Lake Altoona. This thing is moving towards Lake Lanier, so if you're on Lake Lanier, you need to watch out for wind damage. And again, 60 to 80 mile per hour winds are expected with this thing we call a wake low that's currently moving into Atlanta. I'm severe weather expert Dr. Tim Coleman. We'll have more on this coming up later. I'm severe weather expert Dr. Tim Coleman. Some very dangerous thunderstorms in east central Iowa this morning. Take a look at the radar. We have what is known as a bow echo. Normally storms line up in a linear type fashion. This one has really bowed out up here north of Interstate 80 here. Waterloo is up here, so it's just south of Waterloo. We're already getting reports of winds around 100 miles per hour at some of the reporting stations here in Ames County and also back here in Hemphill County. But this is a very dangerous storm moving off towards the northeast. If you're in Clark County, be on the lookout for this. 100 mile per hour winds are possible with this storm. And again, as those winds come in, it just causes the rain to be pushed out front and create that bow echo shape. There's Doppler velocity. We can see where the radar is picking up winds now around 90 miles per hour up at radar level. But sometimes in these bow echoes, the strongest winds are right near the ground. I'm Dr. Tim Coleman. We'll have more updates for you later.